time for another Math Aid video. Today is for our worksheet on strategies to find a missing addend. An addend, if you remember from class, is the two things that we put together to find the sum. So it's the two things with a plus sign between them, and the sum is on the other side of the equal sign. The sum is what we add up together. So you're going to be given one addend. We're going to be missing an addend, and then we're going to use some strategies to figure out the missing addend. All right, so if we look at our very first problem that we have, it says 35 plus blank equals 45. So we've got 35 plus blank equals 45. This one's already filled in for us, but I'm just going to explain the thought behind it so that you can know how to do the rest of the problems. So all we have to do is look at where things are different. So if we look at the ones place, the ones is the same in both the 35 and the 45. So we just have a difference in the tens. And how many tens would I have to add to 3 to get to 4? So if I've got 3 tens and I want to get to 4 tens, how many tens do I have to add? That's right, it would just be 1. You can count on your fingers if you need to, or you can use some of your mental strategies. But that would give us 10. So now that we've figured out one of the addends, what we can do is use that information to solve the next problem. So all of them are going to have the same first addend, 35 plus blank. This time it equals 55. If we want to figure out the difference, or if we want to figure out the next addend, all we have to do is figure out the difference between the two sums. Because this is something we have talked about a couple different times. Sorry about that. We've talked about this a couple different times, is that if the sum goes up a certain amount, then the addend is going to go up the same amount. So if the sum has gone up, you can count from 45 to 55. So the difference between 45 and 55, how many tens would you have to add to 45 to get to 55? You would add 1 10. So since you would just add 1 10 to the sum, you're going to add 1 10 to the missing addend. And 1 10 plus 1 10 is 2 tens. So we would get 20. On this last part, you can take a look and see that we would go from 55 to 65 on the sum, so we would just be adding 5. So let's take a look real quick at our problem that we have. The first one, 24 plus blank equals 34. See if you can figure that one out on your own. If you still have questions after seeing me do it, that's okay. The number one thing to remember is that the amount that the sum goes up is going to be the amount that the addend also goes up. So if the sum goes up by 10, the missing addend goes up by 10. If the sum goes up by 5 or 4 or 3, then the missing addend goes up by 5 or 4 or 3. So parents, one thing that you can do to help with this worksheet is just talk through a couple of the different vocabulary words. The word addend means one of the things that we put together to get a number or to get a sum. A sum means what happens when you put the two numbers together, or the answer to an addition problem. Once we can get our students to understand the vocabulary, it's a little bit easier to ask the questions so that you can know you're on the same page. Once you can use the language of addend and sum, or part and whole even, that's the language that we've used in class, it'll be a lot easier for you to explain what it is that they're working on.